Good morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. Sorry about that. I don't know why I dropped out there for a second. Did something crazy. Yeah, this is Kent Blaylock with SDG Bible Study, the SOLI DEO GLORIA Bible Study, coming to you on this Saturday morning, April the 26th, coming to you with a reading from the Everyday Gospel, a daily devotional by Paul David Tripp with a reading from the biblical text, and a short devotional. This morning, we're going to be in 2 Kings chapters 18 and 19 this morning. So join me as we read God's Word together. 2 Kings chapter 18. Now it happened in the third year of Hoshea, the son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that David his father had done. He took away the high places and shattered the sacred pillars and cut down the Asherah. And he broke in pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made, for until those days the sons of Israel were burning incense to it, and it was called Nehushtan. He trusted in Yahweh, the God of Israel, so that after him there were none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor among those who were before him. So he clung to Yahweh. He did not turn away from following him, but kept his commandments, which Yahweh had commanded Moses. No, excuse me. Having some issues here. There we go. Couldn't find my thing to drop the page down. So let me read verse 6 again. So he clung to Yahweh. He did not turn away from following him, but kept his commandments, which Yahweh had commanded Moses. And Yahweh was with him wherever he went. He prospered. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria and did not serve him. He struck the Philistines as far as Gaza and its territory, from watchtower to fortified city. Now in the fourth year of King Hezekiah, which was the seventh year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years, they captured it in the sixth year of Hezekiah, which was the ninth year of Hoshea, king of Israel. Samaria was captured. Then the king of Assyria took Israel away into exile to Assyria and put them in Hala and on the Habor, the river of Gozan, and in the city of the Medes, because they did not listen to the voice of Yahweh their God, but trespassed against his covenant. Even all that Moses, the servant of Yahweh, commanded, they would neither listen nor do it. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the fortified cities of Judah and seized them. Then Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria at Lachish, saying, I have done wrong. Turn away from me. Whatever penalty you give to me, I will bear. So the king of Assyria set a penalty on Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. Thus Hezekiah gave him all the silver which was found in the house of Yahweh and in the treasuries of the king's house. At that time Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of Yahweh and from the doorposts, which Hezekiah, king of Judah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. Then the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsharis and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a heavy military force to Jerusalem. So they went up and came to Jerusalem, and they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is on the highway of the fuller's field. Then they called to the king, and Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder, came out to them. Then Rabshakeh said to them, Say now to Hezekiah, Thus says the great king, the king of Assyria, What is this trust that you have? You say, but they are only empty words. I have counsel and might for the war. Now, on whom do you trust that you have rebelled against me? Now, behold, you trust in the staff of this crushed reed, even on Egypt, of which if a man leans, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all who trust in him. But if you say to me, we trust in Yahweh our God, is it not he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah has taken away, and has said to Judah and to Jerusalem, you shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? So now come, make a bargain with my master, the king of Assyria, and I will give you 2,000 horses, if you are able on your part to give riders for them. How then can you turn away one official of the least of my master's servants and trust in Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? So now have I come up without the approval of Yahweh against this place to make it a ruin. Yahweh said to me, go up against this land and make it a ruin. Then Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna and Joah said to Rabshakeh, speak now to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it, and do not speak with us in Judean in the hearing of the people who are on the wall. But Rabshakeh said to them, has my master sent me only to your master and to you to speak these words, and not to the man who sit on the wall, doomed to eat their own dung and drink their own urine with you? Then Rabshakeh stood and cried out with a loud voice in Judean, saying, hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus says the king, do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he will not be able to deliver you from his hand. And do not let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahweh, saying, Yahweh will surely deliver us, and this city will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Do not listen to Hezekiah, for thus says the king of Assyria, make your peace with me and come out to me and eat each of his vine and each of his fig tree and drink each of the waters of his own cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own, a land of grain and new wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of olive oil and honey, that you may live and not die. But do not listen to Hezekiah when he misleads you, saying, Yahweh will deliver us. Has any one of the gods of the nations delivered his land from the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim, Hena, and Ibah? When have they delivered Samaria from my hand? Who among all the gods of land have delivered their land from my hand, that Yahweh would deliver Jerusalem from my hand? But the people were silent and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, do not answer him. Then Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph, the recorder, came to Hezekiah with their clothes torn and told him the words of Rabshakeh. Now to chapter 19. Now it happened that when King Hezekiah heard it, he tore his clothes, covered himself with sackcloth, and entered the house of Yahweh. Then he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, with Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz. And they said to him, thus says Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress, reproof, and rejection, for children have come to the point of breaking forth, but there is no strength to give birth. Perhaps Yahweh your God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom his master the king of Assyria has sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which Yahweh your God has heard. Therefore lift up a prayer for the remnant that is left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah. And Isaiah said to them, thus you shall say to your master, thus says Yahweh, do not be afraid because of the words that you have heard, which the young men of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will put a spirit in him, so that he will hear a report and return to his own land, and I will make him fall by the sword in his own land. Then Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that the king had set out from Lachish. Then he heard them say concerning Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, behold, he has come out to fight against you. So he sent messengers again to Hezekiah, saying, thus you shall say to Hezekiah, king of Judah, do not let your God in whom you trust deceive you, saying, Jerusalem will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, you have heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands, devoting them to destruction. So will you be delivered? Did the gods of those nations which my fathers brought to ruin deliver them, even Gozan and Haran and Rezeph and the sons of Eden, who are in Eleazar? Where is the king of Hamath, the king of Arpad, the king of the city of Shepherbaim, and of Hena and Ibah? Then Hezekiah took the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And he went up to the house of Yahweh and spread it out before Yahweh. And Hezekiah prayed before Yahweh and said, O Yahweh, the God of Israel, who is enthroned above the cherubim, you are the God, you alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Incline your ear, O Yahweh, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahweh, and see. And listen to the words of Sennacherib, who sent them to reproach the living God. Truly, O Yahweh, the kings of Assyria have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have put their gods into the fire. For they were not gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. So they have destroyed them. But now, O Yahweh, our God, I pray, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone, O Yahweh, are God. Then Isaiah the son of Amoz sent word to Hezekiah, saying, Thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, because you have prayed to me about Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard you. This is the word that Yahweh has spoken against him. She has despised you and mocked you, the virgin daughter of Zion. She has shaken her head behind you, the daughter of Jerusalem. Whom have you reproached and blasphemed, and against whom have you heightened your voice and haughtily lifted up your eyes against the Holy One of Israel? Through your messengers you have reproached the Lord, and you have said, with my many chariots I came up to the heights of the mountains, to the remotest parts of Lebanon, and I cut down its tall cedars and its choice cypresses, and I entered its farthest lodging place, its thickest forest. I dug wells and drank foreign waters, and with the sole of my feet I dried up all the rivers of Egypt. Have you not heard? Long ago I did it. From days of old I formed it. Now I have brought it to pass that you should devastate fortified cities into ruinous heaps. So their inhabitants were short of power. They were dismayed and put to shame. They were as the plant of the field, and as the green herb, as grass on the rooftops is scorched before it rises. But I know you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in, and you're raging against me. Because of your raging against me, and because your presumptuousness has come up to my ears, therefore I will put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I will turn you back by the way which you came. Then this shall be the sign for you. You will eat this year what grows of its own accord, and in the second year what springs from the same, and in the third year sow, reap, plant vineyards, and eat their fruit. And the surviving remnant of the house of Judah will again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem will go forth a remnant, and out of Mount Zion survivors. The zeal of Yahweh will do this. Therefore thus says Yahweh concerning the king of Assyria, he will not come to this city or shoot an arrow there, and he will not come before it with a shield or throw up a siege ramp against it. By the way he came, by the same he will return, and he shall not come to this city, declares Yahweh. Indeed, I will defend this city to save it for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. Now it happened that night that the angel of Yahweh went out and struck 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. And the men arose early in the morning, and behold, all of them were dead bodies. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, set out and went away and returned home and lived at Nineveh. Now it happened that as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch his god, Adremelech and Sharezer struck him down with a sword, and they escaped into the land of Ararat, and Esarhaddon his son became king in his place. That's going to conclude our reading from the biblical text. Now our devotional reading. Nothing is more sure, faithful, and hope-giving than the perfect goodness of the Lord. Years ago, I came across a brief epitaph, but it was perhaps the best summary of a life one could give. In fact, I would like these 5 little words to be said of me. He was a good man. More than being successful, more than being powerful, more than being rich, more than acquiring public acclaim. I aspire to live a life that is good. To be good is to be morally pure, patient, and faithful, loving and generous. It means you live a Godward life. But as much as I am encouraged by a person's life that can be characterized as good, there is no goodness like the goodness of the Lord. God's word records Israel's moral wandering, the chaos of their idolatry, and the works of evil king after evil king. But what jumps off the pages of Scripture is the stunning goodness of the Lord. He will not return evil for evil, and he will not forsake his covenant promises. You can't read this history without concluding that hope is never found in human plans or power. Hope is never found in human strength or wisdom. Hope is never found in human spirituality or righteousness. Hope is never found in dabbling in the philosophy or religions of the world. Hope is only ever found in one place, the goodness of the Lord. That goodness shines in 2 Kings chapter 18, verses 1 through 8. In the third year of Hoshea, king of Elah, son of Elah, in the third year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah, and he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, according to all that David his father had done. He removed the high places and broke the pillars and cut down the Asherah, and he broke in pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made. For until those days the people of Israel had made offerings to it. It was called Nehushtan. He trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel, so that there was none like him among all the kings of Judah after him, nor among those who were before him. For he held fast to the Lord. He did not depart from following him, but kept the commandments that the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him wherever he went out. He prospered. He rebelled against the king of Assyria and would not serve him. He struck down the Philistines as far as Gaza and its territory, from watchtower to fortified city. Just when you think things will only get darker for God's children, God raises up a righteous, faithful, and God-worshiping king. Not because the people deserve it, but because God is that good. Because of Hezekiah, Israel experiences moral and spiritual renewal and renewed power against their enemies. When his children are faithless, God remains faithful. This was the hope of God's children of old, and it is our hope today. And that's going to conclude our reading this morning, as we've covered quite a bit of ground this morning. And so thankful for the testimony and the life of King Hezekiah and his faithfulness to God, and God raising up a faithful king in the middle of all that chaos of wandering from God and the idolatry and just the wickedness. And faithful King Hezekiah is raised up and serves the Lord. May that be me and you today. May our hearts not wander often. May we return and have hearts devoted to God. I pray that for me today. And I hope you've enjoyed this reading this morning. I hope you enjoy this Saturday. And I hope you give God the glory in everything that you do today. Soli Deo Gloria.